Silva from circle 2, and she gets it. What a putt. Anthony Barella locking it up. Here's the puncher ticket. Does it.
What a way to finish.
Circle's edge.
Love it.
Are you kidding me? Just picked my jaw up off the floor. Are you serious?
Come on.
That's it.
"2025 has been a party on the Disc Golf Pro Tour. The majors are in the record books and tour champions crowned. Now a disc golf banquet to celebrate, and a preview of a course on next year's menu. It's a Friday feast in Charlotte, so let's strike up a match and light the candles. Let's fire up 3 more matches while we're at it. It's the Disc Golf Pro Tour Match Play Championship presented by Pound. Already on course, Nicholas Antala, part of the first card, 2 matches at a time.
8er hold.
Go ahead.
8 players total. Nicholas Antala will be facing off against Ezra Aderhold.
First to tee for match number 2, Anthony Barella. Next to tee, Chris Dickerson.
Welcome to Charlotte. Grant Zellner alongside Jeremy Koling, and that's just how fast things go during match play. Players already on the course. We're already in the middle of calling hole number 1 before we can even introduce ourselves to you. Thanks for joining us on the Disc Golf Network. Jeremy, we saw a lot of action this morning in the morning rounds with the FPO division. 2 out of 4 matches going to overtime. What do you expect to see with the afternoon matches?
Well, we got some heavy hitter matches. The first match that sticks out to me is the Calvin Heimberg Gannon Burr matchup. To me, that's the 2 heavy hitters that are going against each other, like the Missy Gannon versus Silva Sarnen match that we saw in the morning. I expect to see more incredible play here at this challenging Hornets Nest course. The MPO is playing a slightly tougher layout, and I think we're really going to see the teeth of this course as we get into this famous course. You can see here Gannon Burr, Calvin Heimberg. We got Matthew Oram versus Ezra Robinson in that other matchup on the first card. I am really excited to see how Nicholas Antala navigates this course. The way that he plays the game is really well suited for a Hornets Nest. I think Ezra Aderhold is going to have his hands full with that matchup. And Chris Dickerson, a last-second addition for Isaac Robinson, who had to drop out of the event, is going against Anthony Barella, who obviously we know as the big distance guy, but man, if he didn't have a good Woods game, he wouldn't be a 5-time or now a 6-time winner on the Disc Golf Pro Tour. So it's going to be exciting matches from top to bottom, and it's going to be a fun round of match play disc golf.
And if you're not familiar with match play in traditional golf or, of course, disc golf, think of it as 18 individual competitions. players that tie the hole will have the hole, so to speak. And when players are tied throughout the course of the round, that is all square. If a player wins a hole, they go up one hole, or if they lose, down one hole. And of course, those can add up quickly. And if a player is up by as many holes as there are remaining in their round, we call that Dormie. And that means that the player behind has no chance of winning and actually needs to win every remaining hole if they want to tie the match. And of course, ties aren't happening during these playoffs. We'll go to overtime if we need to break any ties. And as I've already mentioned, we did that twice this morning out of 4 matches. So expect some close competition as Nicholas Antala with his second at the 390-foot par 3 first.
And, you know, you covered this a little bit, but as we take a look at Ezra Aderhold's birdie putt from right inside the circle to take one off the initial hole, he does not deliver on the putt. This is not stroke play. Therefore, you can only gain 1 hole or 1 point per hole. It doesn't matter if you take a 10 or a 5. If you lose the hole, you just lose 1 hole at a time.
I expect to see, especially as the round gets a little bit more mature, that we'll see some risk-reward situations where a player has nothing to lose and everything to gain, kind of like that right there.
Incredible.
That wasn't
birdie.
as dramatic, maybe, as we'll see later, but
well, that's
nothing to lose.
A huge starting birdie there for Chris Dickerson. An incredible drive that struck a late tree that really prevented it from being 20-some odd feet away from the basket. But delivers on the putt, wins the starting hole, and he's going to take the advantage over Anthony Brella right from the get-go.
Nicholas Antala and Ezra Aderhold all square through 1. Chris Dickerson already 1 up, but it is early, and we saw a lot of movement in at least some of our matches this morning. Some traded the lead multiple times, which was very exciting from a viewer standpoint and stressful for everyone else. Back with the second card momentarily right here on the Disc Golf Network.
You play disc golf long enough, you can relate to this experience. You adjust your stance, you change your putter, you make all these little tweaks to improve your form. But at the end of the day, sometimes you just have to go back to fundamentals. That's exactly what we did with the Octothorpe. More stable, more refined, more features for the modern disc golfer. This is the Octothorpe reimagined.
Bean boots aren't made to sit on a shelf. They're made to be worn. To see the world from the ground up. From Maine to Tokyo. Side trails to soccer practice. Seasoned by the seasons themselves. You wear them in by simply wearing them out. Here, there, and everywhere in between. These are boots that become more and more yours with every step forward. And the best way to wear them is to just keep wearing them.
Oh. Rain jacket. Oh. What is it called?
Rainfly. Keep your stuff dry.
Fits real small, in the cart, real easy.
Rainfly should be quite self-explanatory.
Keeps all your stuff dry.
Keep all your discs dry.
Keep everything nice and dry.
I don't like to be wet, so either my bag.
You want to keep your cart dry? Throw this on.
Your membership dollars have a huge impact on the growth of the game of disc golf. The PDGA uses membership dollars to provide and aid disc golf as it spreads across the globe. From tools like the PDGA app and Tournament Manager, services like the TD Helpline, and grant programs that support the growth of disc golf globally. Your active membership also brings you access to select member benefits, including free and discounted access to the Disc Golf Network. So sign up today, and we'll see you out on the course.
The Disc Golf Pro Tour Match Play Championship is presented by Pound Disc Golf, one bag for life.
At the tee of hole number 2, already with a 1-up lead, Chris Dickerson.
This was a fun discovery one day, walking with Jeff Spring, finding this alternate placement on hole 2, a hole that's already difficult landing, but then finding its way through the trees, navigating through a gap. And Chris has thrown a nice looking drive. Does it stay in bounds on that right side? It does. What a shot. .340 feet feels a lot longer when you have to navigate that tight window, but don't tell that to Anthony Barella. Does he stay in bounds on that right side? Looked like he did glance off the tree. It was a great looking shot.
Looking for confirmation from a spotter. Meanwhile, in the other match, Nicholas Antala. Everybody may be shaking off a little rust. Some players haven't done much over the course of the last few weeks.
Yeah, I'm curious what Niklas has been up to. Oh, this is looking gorgeous. If it has the distance, it's going to be fantastic, and it does. Just narrowly breaking it off that initial left side tree. I think I know what Ezra's been up to in the couple of weeks since we've seen him last.
Push-ups?
As well as anything else that you do at the gym. Another great looking drive.
I wonder how light a disc feels to him. It's not there, maybe.
That's a great question.
The third member of our broadcast team this weekend, the hometown man, Brian Earhart, my left-handed Legolas, given his skill from the other spin. Brian, tell us how it feels down there and give us the can of current conditions.
It feels like the perfect day to play disc golf. It's chilly enough to where you can put a layer on. It's not overwhelmingly cold. The wind is maybe 5-10 miles an hour this afternoon, so it will affect the players in certain spots in this course. Lots of golf to talk about. We'll cover it throughout the day. I just have to start out this weekend saying how happy I am that we're here at Hornets Nest Park. I know Germ shares the same sentiment. This is my home course now. I never get sick of playing this course. I think the pros playing today also feel the same way. This is a very challenging wooded course. This is very much Charlotte disc golf, but it's fun. It's playable. It makes you want to come back and try again. There's so many satisfying lines to hit, and frankly, that's what I'm excited about. It's a celebration of disc golf. You called it a banquet. That's absolutely what it is this weekend.
I think that's perfectly called there. Look at this Barella drive. I don't care what side's inbounds, what side's out of bounds. That's an inbounds drive for Anthony Barella. It's that close to having to go to the drop zone.
Initially, the read was within circle one, of course, a little further out than that, but not by much, if any.
And
uphill putt.
I think the way that Brian described this course is perfect. It's challenging, but there are some courses that are challenging that I don't want to play every day. That are reserved for certain times when that type of challenge, is used in a tournament. This is the kind of course that you want to be challenged with every day you play. And I think that's what the draw has been here at this park for the last 30 years.
See the orange whiskers there. So with his meter relief from the OB line, Anthony moves inside of 10 meters just by about a half a step or two. But a half a step or two, that would be one step, wouldn't it? Here we go.
Sounds like it. Barella's putting is really the glue for his game. He's always been an incredible thrower of the disc, but he didn't start winning tournaments until that putt started going in consistently from that range, and it's one of the reasons he is now a major champion and a U.S. champion. His putting in Rock Hill at the beginning of October was something to behold.
Dickerson to have the hole.
And don't call him a replacement. This guy came out here to play, birdieing the first 2 holes. These are incredibly difficult birdies to achieve. Hole 1 is one of the toughest holes on the course, and Chris out the gate, knocking down that long putt, sending a statement. Hole 2 a little bit more attainable, as we are seeing 3 of the first 4 players in for birdie, and more than likely a star frame coming. And there it is. What a star frame on hole 2.
In the warm-up area before the round, Gannon Burr, one of the 4 players we will see on our second and final card of this afternoon's action. He'll take on Calvin Heimberg. Joining them will be Matthew Oram and Ezra Robinson on that second and final card. Really compelling storylines amongst those guys.
This season, Team Discraft is making a statement, and the message is loud and clear. Discraft, built for flight.
At Pound, the quality of our gear runs deeper than the stitching. That's why we design and build everything right here in the U.S. We source the highest quality U.S. materials to make the most comfortable and durable pack in disc golf.
Let's send these boys back to the lobby. Get on. Oh, Grandma's got a hot kettle for that tea bag.
How did you get so much energy from a candy?
One Shot is no ordinary candy. It only has 4 grams of sugar, and the nootropics help prevent jitters and crash.
Grandma, do you think I could try one of those One Shot energy chews?
Oh, sure, honey. But if you come for the queen, you better come correct, Sprout. I'm the OG. Got it?
Got it.
Level up your energy with One Shot. Grab yours at oneshotenergy.com today.
Hallo, we're Kenna. We're a Dutch growing company. We love plants and we want to tell you some cool things about them. Just like humans, plants can communicate. They can sense when another plant is close. Plants look out for each other too. They warn neighbors about nearby threats by secreting substances. And studies have shown that plants love a good tune. We love and understand plants. Let our passion excite you too.
The odds are in for the Match Play Championship, your chance to game a little. Check out these players and decide which one you want to put your money where your mouth is. To participate in regulated sports wagering on DGPT events or to play DGPT Daily Fantasy, head over to nxtbets.com/playdgpt. Betting on DGPT events not available in all states and jurisdictions.
Welcome to 2025.
To learn more about gaming options in your area and start playing today, visit nxtbets.com/playdgpt.
I don't want to get wrapped up in the scandal here, but I'm going to go ahead and give you guys some insider information. Do not bet on Silva Saarinen to win the FPO version of the Match Play Championships. That's my insider information for you all at home.
My insider information on Gannon Burr is that he's very good at disc golf.
Little left. That's going to kick left as well.
Next on the tee in this matchup, Calvin Heimberg.
If you were to describe a hole that Calvin Heimberg would have an advantage on most, it would look very similar to hole 1 at Hornet's Nest. He does pull this a little bit right and gets punished with a huge kick out to the right side.
Leading off our second match here. First on the tee, Matt Oram.
We have a generational battle going on here with Matt Oram versus Ezra Robinson, the old school versus the old guard versus the new school.
Down there.
Card today. Put your hands together for Ezra Robinson.
Match play lends itself to being in a very aggressive style format if you're trailing, a very headsy style of golf if you are leading, but Ezra is such an aggressive player. It's going to be interesting to see how he navigates this style format. Right from the gates, he throws a gem down the middle on hole 1.
Ezra's brother Isaac dropping because his little one's being born. To hole 3, Chris Dickerson on the par 4.
Interesting ground play there with a decent shot. Moving off to that right side does restrict the angle on the second shot a bit. And if you were with us for the FPO coverage, this tee pad is brought back about another 80 feet or so, making the tee shot quite a bit tougher to get to that ideal landing zone.
Things close as you might expect early in the round. This morning we were blessed. 3 out of 4 of the matches stayed close throughout and made for some very compelling disc golf going into the challenging back 9, where it feels like in some areas things really tighten up, get even more technical than what you're seeing here, if that's believable.
You better believe it. Gannon just using that jump putt approach with the mid-range and does so very well. Well done predicting the late hyzer to avoid having to make a pesky little 20-footer for the par.
What do you see here in this form, Germ?
Oh, Gannon stays very upright in his putting. He likes to use a lot of arm to alleviate unnecessary levers. So you don't see him bring his back leg behind and use that as a measure of power. He just bends both of his knees down, he kind of jumps into it and then uses his arm to catapult. And so it's like almost like a putt, but he throws it because he brings the disc down low to the side of his body. You see Macbeth do that for some of his longer putts, and I'm sure Gannon was studying that when he was watching all those tapes when he was developing his form early on in his disc golf career.
Thanks to Disc Golf Deals USA for that form review. Scaled weights of every disc, same-day shipping, rewards on every purchase, and more. Your game, our passion. Disc Golf Deals USA as we watch the action ahead now at hole 3.
That seems to have advanced pretty well for Chris. That is a very dangerous play to take. That tomahawk through the woods, cutting the corner, can get you in some trouble.
Oh, brutal.
Absolutely. Full refund for Matty O. And he may be away still between him and Ezra. Didn't quite see exactly where Ezra's drive finished, but Matty O's drive, or his putt, rather, rolled outside the circle. That much we know for sure.
To the group on 3, Anthony Barella, his second at the par 4.
That's the sound you're trying to avoid.
Mm-hmm. Back to Ezra Robinson and Matty O. Matty O indeed away.
Yeah, well done. He's going to make Ezra earn it. And Ezra, yeah, he's 2 paces outside the circle, so this would be a huge make to win the first hole. And he puts it right in the middle. What a putt. What a year for Ezra. What a
Calvin's
year
a
it was.
save.
And I was just saying, what a year it's been for Calvin, and what a save he has here. Incredible to walk away with par. That right side is absolutely treacherous on the first hole. If you're going to miss, the kick left is preferable. Calvin able to scramble out of there with the forehand and make the putt from the rough.
Just like that, everybody on course. And it will be a fast-paced afternoon. I can guarantee you that if this is anything like the way the morning went. So we'll take a break while we can. Stay with us on the Disc Golf Network.
Progress doesn't stand still. Neither do we. Every moment matters, every step evolving through experience. Trust breeds confidence, and confidence is everything. Any terrain, any conditions. The all-new Syncrasy V2 by Ideo Sports.
Calvin, looking good today. Calvin Heimberg.
Excuse me, sorry. Hey, oh, sorry. Excuse me. Hello. Hey, thank you. A Naqua. I'm looking for a Naqua. Do you have one?
Hey, Germ, you can't cut in line.
My apologies. You may have noticed I just cut you in line. I'm just looking for a Naqua.
A Naqua? Here, use mine.
Got it. Thanks.
Barella at the third. Creative. Up there with a chance to save par. His opponent, Chris Dickerson, trying to do the same.
Well done.
And back to the second. Ezra Robinson on the tee. Ezra's brother, as I mentioned before, dropped because his wife is having a baby. I'm curious if Ezra knows yet if he's an uncle or an aunt.
Is that the joke?
That's all I got, man. That's all I got. I want to send it down to Brian Earhart, who's with this group, though. The joys of watching in such an incredible setting. We see the leaves falling from the trees, and we've already seen some shots that make the crowd go, ooh. Brian, tell us how it feels down there.
Well, it feels like some of the high-level courses here in Charlotte set up for that incredible in-person watching where you truly see shots thrown that you'll never get to maybe execute in your whole life as a player. I'm thinking about hole 16 at Nevin for the Tour Championship when we used to play there. I'm thinking about what Gannon just did on hole 1, that 200-foot jump putt. Fans were blown away that that was even possible. But in general, I want to maybe throw it to Germ back in the booth. What other shots come to mind in the city of Charlotte that are incredible to watch in person?
Oh, I mean, I think this is a great hole to spectate. And it's also one that we don't get to see thrown very often because this is only used for tournament days. So shots like that Gannon just threw down the middle, I mean, it's just something that you dream of throwing it with that much aim, that incredible pinpoint aim, but also the control to be able to do both at the same time through this tiny gap that is daunting for any level of disc golfer. It's just awesome to watch. These guys are making hole 2 look pretty easy. We're going to have 4 more looks at birdie on the hole that was star framed by the first card.
Jumping to the third, Ezra Aderhold. Off the face mask. Par saved for Barella.
That's well done from that early right side. Gets quite squirrely in there. We still have not seen a birdie from any of our cards on the third.
Oh. Okay.
Well, Christmas in November for Ezra Aderhold.
Yep, to bogey and not lose a point. So that match remains all square. Dickerson remains 1 up on AB, and they move on to the par 4 fourth.
Low ceiling tee shot here on the 4th. You want to get about 400 feet off the tee to be in the best position. This is not going to quite get 400, but as long as it gets on the correct side of the baseball fence, which it does, then Chris is in good position to throw a 4-hand second in. Oh, total yank for Anthony. Trying to be an off-speed shot for Anthony. You know, part of him wants to rip into the shot, but it doesn't call for that high power. So a little bit in between distances for Anthony. I think that caused that yank. Ezra's looking good on the green to the first 2. Calvin delivering beautiful putt.
And Jerm, we already begin to see that strategic element that's not as present in regular stroke play, where the player playing first has the chance to put the pressure on the player playing second, or the player that's already in close means the one putting first knows ahead of time they need to make it.
Right. Gannon delivering a great putt himself. You know, yesterday at the press conference between Gannon and Calvin, they were given an opportunity to grade the other player, and Gannon actually gave Calvin an A+ on his putt, judging his putt as of late. Specifically talking about the way he performed at the Pro Tour Championship, Calvin's first Pro Tour Championship title. And a star frame for our second card. 8 birdies on hole 2. Unreal.
Flying now over hole number 3.
Well, these guys are going to have to choose either a backhand flip up or a late flip forehand. The late flip forehand, with the power that these guys possess, can put them all the way at the bottom of the hill and around the corner to the right, which would be ideal for this incredibly difficult par 4. The main thing, though, is splitting the gap that you're seeing right here. That's about 350 feet or so off the tee. And then just getting to the bottom of the hill. Anywhere, once you start getting into about this zone here where the edge of that hill is, then you start finding yourself in position to attack for the birdie. As we dogleg off to this right side, we cross the little creek that hardly ever has standing water. As I said, there's a little bit of standing water in there right now, but you're just trying to avoid all these big blockers. I mean, and there's a ton of them from left to right. There's one main gap down the middle, but this hole hasn't been birdied today for good reason. It is brutal from tee to green. The shots have to be perfect. Everything has to go right. And then even then, you're still going to probably have to make a pretty decent putt. Fun fact about the tees here on 3, I believe there's 3 different tee pads poured on this particular hole, because there are some tees that are not technically on park property on this hole. So they have tried to figure out how they can make sure that they own the tee pad that is in use for the disc golf course. Again, it is going with that late flip. He turns it early. That's a decent fight. He avoided the early kick right, which can occur with the early turn forehand. But best case scenario for Gannon now is par.
Oof. Heimberg squares up the early tree on the left.
I still think par is manageable, but it's going to require a Herculean effort now for Calvin. Out of position early on 3 is never a good thing. Now, I didn't notice this with the earlier cards today, but looks like this group is deciding to alternate which group is going first off the tee. Matteo really pushing that right side. Getting through. Excellent tee shot.
Ahead to the 4th, the Dickerson-Barella matchup, where Barella had to pitch out to here, so his 3rd now on the par 4.
Well done. He's got a good shot at saving the par. But Chris's ideal tee shot puts him in a great position to go up 2 through 4. If he can put this one close. This is wide left. And fortunate to stay there. Oftentimes when drives hit that hillside, they end up rolling downhill and find that OB at the bottom of the hill quickly. Chris will have a putt for the birdie.
Calvin just in a terrible spot here.
Yeah, this would be a pretty amazing par, honestly. I think it's possible, but it's going to take some kind of effort. My only question is, did it get far enough? And if that's it by the base of the bridge, then the answer to that question is yes. He should be able to get up and down from the bridge.
I know in the morning round, some of the FPO players talked about how they haven't done much over the last 3 weeks. A few said just about the only disc golf they played might have been a little bit of putting. I'm curious, Brian, if you have a bead on these players and how much they have been playing over the last few weeks as we see Onslaught in with a long bid. Brian, what are you hearing in terms of how much these guys have been playing?
I think it's scattered. I think some players really turned it off, and this just goes back to how these players like to spend their off seasons. I remember famously Nate Doss used to say he would hang the bag up all winter and he would never touch it, come back during the season and start playing again. Well, you got guys like Gannon that are like, yeah, well, I just played a triples tournament. Me, Ben Calloway, and Hetch Slaybach took down a local triples tournament, and yeah, some of these guys just don't stop playing. So it's definitely scattered, though.
We just saw Ezra Aderhold make that putt to go up 1 on Nicholas Antala. Now back with Ezra Robinson trying to work his way up the challenging third. And now Gannon Burr trying to do the same from a similar location.
At this point, Gannon's just going to try to apply pressure by advancing his way down the fairway and giving himself a guaranteed, assured par. Calvin still has to work pretty hard to get his par, so if Gannon's able to get around the corner at all with this shot, it will apply a little bit of pressure on Calvin's shoulders. That's amazing. That is wow. Not only is it around the corner applying pressure, Gannon is now 33 feet away from birdie.
You're not fired yet. Perfect.
Got so much power on that from a standstill through that little gap afforded him between those two sapling trees.
You just don't see birdies from there. It takes a perfect drive, and Gannon's drive was anything but perfect. To get that big of a flare, having to navigate that tiny gap right out of the gate, truly impressive. I mean, Brian's talking about why players should come out here, or why fans should come out here and watch this in person. Shots like that are why you should be here. Now this is more of the ideal landing zone. Matt's going to want to keep this one relatively high. And although he didn't get the natural fade of the disc, he hits a tree and it kind of sends him in about the same spot he was hoping to land anyways.
To the fourth, Chris Dickerson. And now Barella. That was to have with Dickerson, so Dickerson's layup, intentional or not, earns him the win there at hole number 4.
That's pretty fortunate for Chris. his drive put him in a position that he would love to get up and down every time, and he did not take care of business, but neither did Anthony, and Chris gets the hole anyways, and now he is up 2 through 4. And we saw early with the Owen Paige Pierce match, Owen took an early lead, and Paige is just never able to scratch into that lead. So a huge advantage going up early in your matches.
Heimberg. The adventure continues.
We love to be on the left side of the bridge for the best angle, but still, for Calvin to even get there after his tee shot was well done. But man, Gannon's second shot was so good that it just kind of felt like this hole was already over before Calvin even got to his second shot, or his third shot rather.
Well done. To the 5th, Chris Dickerson off the tee.
What was a 260-foot hole for the FPO is a 405-foot flex forehand that Chris throws incredibly well, really applying pressure to Anthony early. That's going to drift OB unless it gets some sort of crazy roll off the street. That's going to be early out of bounds, and another hole is going to be going to Chris Dickerson unless something crazy happens.
Calvin Heimberg back at the 3rd.
Now I'm wondering, we were talking about the gentleman nature of match play earlier in the FPO matches. I wonder if Calvin's just going to allow Gannon to pick that up. He does.
So concessions happening early.
Calvin recognizing he was out of the hole and says, "You're good." Matty O, meanwhile, needs to make this to win the hole, and it is just an inch or two too high. I'm liking the pace of Ezra's putt so far. It has looked really smooth, really fluid. Because obviously when all players are at their best, but especially Ezra, who has the potential to rein it in from deep.
Ezra Aderhold at the 5th. So now Antala has this to win the hole.
And the putting has just been absent for Niklaus so far early.
Some work to do. Meanwhile, to Ezra Robinson on the 4th, the par 4, 730 feet.
Needs to start moving left. There is OB back there. So Ezra's going to be right side of the line of trees. He's going to have to go back door, which opens up. Is it out of bounds?
Red flag.
Really? I didn't realize the... Okay, so in the past, that OB line has been a few paces off those trees. But it looks like the line is a little bit closer to the actual tree line itself. Yeah, there you can see it. A little bit early for the hyzer or earlier for the hyzer from Matty O. That's exactly what you're looking for. And that's an ideal position. Gannon pulling that one high and right, hitting early tree, kicking down left, opening the door for Calvin to put himself in position and potentially get that hole back that he just lost on the third. As long as that's not too long. Wow. Could be a tricky approach for Calvin, actually. He's got low ceiling either direction that he decides to go. If he does elect to try to go back in, he's going to be going over OB the entire way.
Nicholas saves it ahead at the 5th.
Chris was able to just lay up for the par and the win, with AB's par save coming up short from OB. So Chris up to an early lead quick on Anthony.
And there it is, 3 through 5. We saw a mixed bag this morning. We saw some comebacks late, and we saw some players unable to make headway after falling behind early. We'll have to wait and see which of those two tales becomes that of the Dickerson-Barella matchup.
Risky maneuver, potentially going for the big forehand over the out-of-bounds field for Gannon.
We may have an update from scoring here. We may not have had an OB, even though we did have a red flag.
Interesting.
Yeah, we may not have had an OB. These may all be inbounds tee shots, and everybody's still in the game.
No, it's a good shot there for Gannon. Puts him back in position. Again, par, best he can do.
We'll await further clarification on that before we say anything definitive, but there was a red flag. However, live scoring does not have an OB stroke for now. Meanwhile, ahead at the 6th.
450 feet, and Ezra just threw it 454. Absolutely beautiful drive down this low ceiling tunnel on the 6th. Niklas unable to match the drive, so we're going to have to see if Niklas has it in him to throw it in to have the hole.
Brian, down there with this group, can you give us clarity on the scoring here with Gannon, Burr, Calvin, Heimberg?
Yeah, the only OB that I'm seeing here is Ezra Robinson. But yeah, that's all I can give you.
Okay. Thanks, Brian. I may have conflated the timing of that red flag and not realized exactly which player it was for. So that may be on me, but thanks for clearing that up. Glad I asked.
Well, Mattio's not parked by any means. So Ezra has an opportunity. Everything that you see in front of you is all out of bounds until you get to about 35, 40 feet from the basket. So this is it's not really a risky shot. Ezra has to go for the pin here. But that's what's on the line here. He is going over out of bounds the entire way. And that does sit.
Nice.
Well thrown. He'll will be a bit of a comeback putt in effect coming for Ezra, and that really only matters if Matteo misses his putt. Meanwhile, we've got Calvin Heimberg trying to figure out what his next course of action is going to be, and as I predicted, it's going to be a tricky one regardless of which direction he ends up going. He's got his hands full with the fear of going out of bounds with whatever shot he elects taking.
I'm not sure. Do you have an opinion, Germ, if either one of these options is safer than the other?
Well, it really just matters what he can see. It's hard to tell which limbs are in his way of his throw. I like this idea with the low forehand turnover if he has the ceiling to clear. Now, if he hits any of these limbs, he's going to be out of bounds immediately and he's going to lose the hole. So really important that he gets the right nose up angle, and it looks like he's done so. As long as it doesn't carry down the hill OB. Wow. What a shot from Calvin.
The last rotation of the disc curls him back away from the OB stripe.
Ederhold under the basket. Niklas knows this has to go in, otherwise he will be down another stroke, and this will not go in. So perhaps I got it wrong. It looks like Niklas Antala has his hands full with Ezra Ederhold so far.
Gannonbird's third. Nobody in tight here at the fourth.
Not yet. Yeah, no one even in the circle. Well, I guess Gannon is technically, Gannon is in the circle, but Matteo will probably be first up here.
To Ederhold, T of 7.
Oh, that's just breaking the hole. That's just breaking the hole. What a drive. Ideally, left side of fairway is best case scenario, best angle in. But when you throw it that far and you avoid all the low-hanging limbs, you avoid all the trees that are on that right side, and you get full distance on the backhand turnover, especially when you're Ezra Ederhold, you'll take right side, you'll take left side, you'll take whatever you get. That's more of what we call like a normie drive. That's a great drive for a normie. A good normie at that. Ezra's putt does not matter as Matteo drills it from outside the circle, and that's going to tie the match back up.
Calvin, a good display here of the fact you get a meter from OB. Even if you're in bounds, if you're not at least a meter away, you get to move a full meter away in line with the OB line. That back foot, of course, cannot be touching OB when the disc is released, and released too high at that this time for Calvin Heimberg.
Gannon needs to make this one for the par in order to stay up one over Calvin. This is too easy for him. And although he did not take down the title of the best putter in Circle 1 in 2025, that title going once again to Andrew Marweed.
Stunner.
I would say most people would probably regard Gannon Burr as the best putter in the world. And it's because not only is he making more putts than almost anyone, he's putting himself in position more often. And that's a big part of the putts that he's making are more important than anyone else because he's the one who's routinely in position to win tournaments. And so just what an absolute monster he is on the green.
Hole number 5, a 405-foot par 3. That's where our final 2 matches are headed.
Yeah, there's a couple options here. The area that you're seeing right now here with the rocks kind of prevents the roll from being that great of an option. But that being said, there is room on that left side and the high right side to land a roller. However, because the forehand is such a prominent part of the game these days, these players all have that 400-foot forehand, and that's what you're more than likely going to see from all of these guys here. So you're going to see that little flex. They're going to take the right side. They're going to try to make sure that they don't overturn it the way we saw Anthony Brella throw it in the road just a little bit ago.
Thanks to Flight Factory for that flyover of hole number 5. We're gearing up for the 2025 Downtown Disc Golf Experience.
Just keep its nose up. That's just exactly how you do it. My gosh. Oh, just don't roll. Well, that's just totally unfair.
Come back. Why not? No. Yes. No.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. What a roller coaster. That is the one thing you hate to see when you throw it so good that you hit the embankment behind the pin, the steepest part of the hole, and the disc has no choice but to roll back down the hill. A bad break with a good ending. This is the much higher difficulty shot. Calvin trying to throw the low burner and just overturns it into the ground. Such a highly technical shot to land a backhand safely at this length of a hole.
Looked like a little gust of wind also might have exaggerated.
Yeah, Brian mentioned that on the course conditions, that 5 to 10 mile an hour wind would potentially have an impact at certain places on the course, and it looked like it had a big impact here with Calvin and Matty O's drive.
Brian, this morning things were calm for the most part and chilly. Now, temperature-wise and, of course, wind-wise, what are you feeling and seeing?
Like I said earlier in the FPO round, it's just enough wind to make you question your decision when it comes to what disc or what shot you throw. Watch both those initial backhands just get completely slammed, but Ezra makes the correction. Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah, that's a tough shot to throw, especially with this crosswind.
Back to Nicholas Antala on the 7th.
Good looking starting angle. Needs to get a good clean skip to the right. That's a great shot from Niklas. Very well done. 22 feet away. Now Ezra, a little bit worse angle, but like I said before, when you get this much distance, this is just a chip forehand from here. The thing you really want to avoid is hitting those railroad ties that are on the ground there, which can prevent a otherwise really good forehand from getting the skip that it deserves. And Ezra also skips inside the circle.
Back to 5 and work to do for several of these players, beginning with Calvin Heimberg.
Important, good pace, good angle onto this green. We all saw what can happen if you hit this green with too much angle at the wrong part. It's actually not an easy layup from here.
Yeah, where do you put it?
Yeah, I mean, like, the OB is right at the top of the hill, so you don't want to push it too right. Mattio's not really interested in laying up, though, is he? He's giving that a full bid.
Well, I was going to ask you, Germ, is that a situation where because of what you see, you just sort of might as well go for it, also because of the match play?
I certainly can see that, especially with Ezra being where he is and knowing that Mattio knows that he's been putting well today. And draws chains this time. Perfect height, just 2 inches left of a good chance of going in there for Ezra. Now Gannon with his meter just inside the circle, pin high. Opportunity to go up 2 through 5. Wow. Sends it in there with authority. Gannon, the only player electing to go forehand, the only player walking away with birdie.
To the 7th, Chris Dickerson, his second at the par 4.
Firmly in control of this match right now. This shot is very technical. Got to go with a very overstable disc with a lot of angle to make the gap, and then hyzer back at the end. Doesn't get the late hyzer.
Mm-hmm.
And this is Anthony's drive. My goodness.
A chance to stop the bleeding here for Barella if he puts it close.
Well done. And you can just see there's just an assortment of trees that you just have to miss while skipping onto that green. It's not unheard of to skip, hit one of those trees, and then roll back left OB.
Mattio, confident.
And does not pay the price for his aggressive birdie bid. Great match brewing between Ezra and Mattio so far.
Well done there for Aderhold, in for the birdie, forcing his opponent to match with a birdie of his own if he wants to have the hole. We'll see what happens there, but first Barella. In. I believe that should win the hole if my math is correct. Yep, picking up for Dickerson, that would have been a par, so Barella gets one back on Dickerson and is now just 2 behind through 7.
That's important. You just can't let those early ones go away, and 2 down is manageable. 3 down starts feeling a little desperate. Oh, it's a gorgeous looking line for Mattio, but it's staying right for so long. If it gets a good skip, yeah, that's pretty good. That's really good.
Just waited its sweet time before coming in so softly and inside the circle.
Mattio is a fine wine that way, man. He hasn't lost a step in 25 years of playing pro. This guy has just not lost a step. I'm saying 25 years. 30 years of playing open.
Robinson to circle's edge, just outside perhaps. Both will have birdie putts.
Well, that's good. This makes it look extraordinarily doable. And 450 on that type of line is not extraordinarily doable by any means. Another beautiful shot. Getting the skip in the circle. Great drives around. But Gannon just doing Gannon things, man, making it look really easy. If Calvin cannot make that putt from the edge of the circle, Gannon will be up 3 through 6.
Earhart at the par 4 8th.
Highly aggressive tee shot going with a fast disc. A lot of players electing to go mid-range or even putter just to put it in position. Ezra going for the big skip shot, trying to break the hole essentially off the tee alone. To me, that's ideal. You can't really improve much on that drive there from Niklas.
Gannon Buhr and Calvin Heimberg separated by 2 points through 5 holes. Matteo and Ezra Robinson all square. Players giving us a second to breathe here after a rapid start to this round. Now we're back to action. Ezra Robinson for the birdie at the 6th.
The only player not in the circle does not matter. To me, that basket looks huge for Ezra right now. It just seems like he's got all the confidence in the world. That putting stroke seems really confident.
Now Heimberg knowing that Gannon is in close.
Well done. Approaching another star frame. In. Again, and just a few feet away for the second star frame of the round. It's not that easy.
Antala from a great position, still work to do.
That is very well done. I wasn't sure how much stability his approach disc had on it, but it flattened out nicely and landed just about 15 feet away. And this, you don't see many drives on this hillside. This is where a lot of second shots might get to. But Earhart going for the big tee shot and getting rewarded with distance, but not necessarily with the best angle for the approach. That being said, he's only 33 feet away for the birdie.
At the tee now of 7 with this pair of matches. Gannon Buhr coming off of, well, they're all coming off of a birdie, the star frame at the 6. Right. So Gannon Buhr trying to see if he can't build on a 2-up lead through that first third of the round.
Look at that forehand. That was a terrific tee shot. Gannon's just not giving Calvin any room to make any mistakes right now. Calvin had the opportunity to grab the birdie back on 4. Calvin did not make the birdie, and he's punished.
Good tee shot there from Heimberg.
Well done. Perhaps the swaggiest player to ever do it, Matty O, just turning his hips and just posing for the shot every time he throws, man. It's an amazing spectacle to behold. Like Ezra kind of gave up on that one halfway through the throw, and that's going to put him well out of position for the birdie. And you find something special to give himself a look. Otherwise, Matty O is in a great position to take the lead in this match.
To the 8th, looking at the basket with Ezra Aderhold.
Oh, a fraction of an inch from being in for the birdie. Niklas having an opportunity coming up here to dig into that lead a little bit. Chris off the mark. Anthony can bring himself right back in this match by winning 2 consecutive holes.
Ooh. Didn't love the footing he had.
Yeah, it's not great.
Just a little bit awkward. Still something he knows he ought to make,
yeah,
probably.
You got to take care of business from that range.
Yeah, 95, 98 times out of 100 at least.
Niklas needs this one. Gets it. The only birdie of the card here on 8 that's a bit surprising.
Stunning, really. As the horn of Gondor sounds in the background, we wrap up the 8th. And head back to the 7th. Robinson, work to do.
Yeah. He's going for the air shot. This is... Wow. I mean, he's going to find OB, but my goodness, to get past pin high from all the way back there, that is crazy.
Hey!
And good thing Isaac dropped out. On November 5th, Jed Robinson born. As Isaac put it best, he's got a new touring buddy. So it turns out Ezra will be an uncle, not an aunt.
See, you're laughing.
It's great.
You're laughing.
It's
Success.
great.
You rolled your eyes at first, but now I got a smile on your face, my friend.
It's the perfect amount of cheesy. I love it.
Matty-O, his second after a stellar drive.
This is looking nice. Just needs to avoid the early blockers, and because I can't see it, I'm going to assume it hit one of the early blockers. A little bit more inside for Gannon, and that's what. Okay, that's good. That's what you're looking to do.
Calvin already in a position where he needs to make sure he matches at worst
it's a little late. It's okay. Edge of circle. I mean, it's getting at that time where you could fall down 3 to some people. You can't really fall down 3 to Gannon this early and leave the 7th hole with much hope. So nearly a must-make coming up for Calvin.
Antala at the 9th. Look at this.
Wow. Incredible.
Little 430-foot par 3, and by little I mean big.
It's downhill. It's a little downhill. That's the little part.
That's the little part.
And that's it.
Later hold early tree, so advantage Antala. A chance to square that match up. Back with Ezra and Matty-O. It's not over yet despite the OB stroke. Matty-O has a outside the circle look at birdie, so if Robinson can find a way.
Yeah. Ezra has to make this. If Ezra doesn't have a mini, I need to get to the course right now. I've got a few thousand I can loan him for the remainder of this round. A good effort. But Ezra will be going to the 8th down 1 to Matty-O, who's played the hole very well and can essentially just pitch up now, but I doubt, well, Ezra is going to make him pitch up, but that's all he needed to do.
We mentioned this morning a little bit, Jeremy. I wonder if here in the early going, there's a little bit of just the habit of not realizing you can say pick up.
Right. All right. Very important putt here for Calvin.
Mm-hmm.
That is going to be an early 3 down situation. And it's a tough proposition to come back to the #1 player in the world. And it's just too good. Just doesn't make mistakes. If Calvin wants any chance of getting back in this match, he's going to have to make sure that if there is any mistake, Calvin is right there pouncing on any opportunity.
Varela off the tee at the 9th.
So they're actually playing. They're playing a different pin position than I expected. They're playing the Heiser pin position. They're playing the same position the FPO played, but I think perhaps a slightly shorter basket placement to make it a par 3.
Dickerson a little high there. Should have a look. Meanwhile, we'll bounce our way back to the 8th and fly over.
Yeah, we saw a couple different schools of thought here with the first card through. Ezra Aderhold going with a high-speed disc with the big skip. Meanwhile, the only player that birdied it was Niklas, who threw more of a controlled shot that just barely got around the corner and put himself in the perfect position. The most aggressive drive I've ever seen goes back to the last time we played the Tour Championship here in Hornets Nest when Austin Hannum threw a flick roller and got to the hillside and to the left side, and it was unbelievable. But most people are just going to try to throw a backhand mid-range or maybe a fairway driver, even a putter will do, and just really the distance is the only thing that matters. If you access this main fat part of the fairway, you are going to have a good look at getting the birdie on a relatively straightforward dog leg left par 4. But like we saw in the earlier group, no one put their second shots close enough to ensure that they would get their birdie. So we'll see what this card does differently to ensure the birdie 3. That's actually one of my spies. I sent that person there to give Ezra that mini.
That was the opposite of what you usually see. Usually it's the players giving out minis to the fans. That's
awesome.
That's nice.
Well, that's not great.
I believe Ezra needed to throw that in, and I think that comment you heard was him conceding the hole right then and there.
Yeah, when you know, you know.
Oram, coming off of winning at the 7th.
Has been playing great this round. That tee pad you see is actually a fairly tricky par 3 alternate pin position, or tee position. So Matty O is going to be in position to get up and down, but it's just not as close as he'd like. Meanwhile, Ezra, by rolling off that tree, he's given himself more room to throw, but less angle to get around the corner. Gannon also electing to go high speed and hits the one tree in the middle that you have to miss. This is that open door opportunity that we're talking about for Calvin.
Can't let too many more opportunities like this go by. 3 back through 7.
No, he certainly cannot. And that is one of the better drives you'll see on this hole. Very well thrown.
At 9, Chris Dickerson out of position off the tee. So Barella.
Oh my gosh. 3 putts on the front 9 inside the circle that Anthony Barella has missed. Back on 4, on 8, and now on 9, and he's paying the price right now. He has the opportunity to be up in this match if he was making his putts in the circle. Making it easy for Chris right now.
Chris stays 2 up over Barella. The other group, you see the scores there. 3 up for Burr over Heimberg. Heimberg in a great place to try to get one of those back right now. Overcash is something I rarely am. I'm usually under cash. Gannon Burr at the par 4 8th. Work to do, hit an early tree, but out in the open, so I assume he's got options, and I assume maybe wrong. Look at this. Just a wall.
Yeah, it's just... there's really no point in getting aggressive here if you're Gannon. Just getting around the corner is the same thing as getting way around the corner. But he elects to go for the highest difficulty shot, and it really pays off in the same way that if he had thrown a 65-foot Anheuser sidearm would have paid off. And to speak to your point about the under-cash, over-cash, if you look at my Disc Golf Pro Tour statistics for the 2025 season, it would just say no cash. It's hard out here for a commentator these days, Grant. highly technical second shot from Matty O. Even though it's a straight shot, it's a long straight shot. And he hits the gap well, but he's going to find himself deep in circle 2, if not shallow circle 3, behind a wall of trees.
Just lining up prepositional phrases one after another there. Behind inside the trees, alongside the trees,
Yeah.
beyond the basket.
It's all of those things, correct.
It's all of those things.
That's right.
Nicholas Antala at the 10th.
Going for the backhand Anheuser line. If this gets a little stability at the end, it's going to be great. Well, a long look at birdie, but a very challenging hole. Very technical line.
Same gap.
Yeah, if this holds turn, it's going to be even better. And even with the tree kick, advantage Aderhold.
Spotters getting in work today, not because of water or OB lines in most cases, but just because of the leaves.
That's correct.
Thank you to those guys.
Ezra has the inside forehand gap. Pretty lucky to have an opening there, and he throws through the gap like he's been a forehand player his whole life. That's a very well executed shot. Here's why I don't like the aggressive second shot skip play. The best case scenario, as far as distance, is that you get into this hillside. And when you get into this hillside, you have a blind approach. It's not that it's challenging, it just doesn't really promote any sort of advantage in any kind of way. But he's secured the par and now put the pressure on Calvin to execute. And Calvin executes.
Just what the doctor ordered there for Calvin after falling behind by 3. Needs a stress-free situation to try to get one back. Antala the 10th.
What a putt. And a slow day for him on the green, but delivers big time there. Well done.
Aderhold to have.
What an incredible have on hole 10. 2 birdies on this incredibly technical hole.
To have and to Aderhold.
Oh, wow.
No.
Well done.
Nah. I'm not going to take credit for that one. All square, though, between those two. Meanwhile, Barella still trying to find a way to scratch and claw his way back into the match with Chris Dickerson.
Just struggling off the green. It's just too many misses. And what a heck of a replacement for Isaac Robinson Chris Dickerson has been so far. Only made a few small mistakes, but Anthony has been unable to take advantage of those mistakes, and Chris has been putting the pedal to the metal all over the place otherwise.
Okay.
Wow.
Hey, what a putt from Matty Orm. I don't know, does that count as a putt? Whatever it was, it's in the bottom of the basket.
It was a prayer answered.
Look at this. Sasquatch, something in the woods.
What a putt. Oh my goodness. Around the tree. Grant, 10 out of 10. Unbelievable.
Yeah, just picking a space somewhere up in the sky and trying to hit that space with the disc, and then everything after that,
That didn't scratch and claw its way in. That was hearted. That was absolutely perfect.
Ezra responds.
Man, that is some good disc golf right there.
Brian, walking with these guys, we're starting to see some big putts drop. The energy on the card, pretty good. The gallery enjoying themselves. Give us a little bit of an update. Just, we'll call it a vibe check with Brian Earhart.
If anything, you take all the disc golf out of this, you take all the excitement of match play out of this, it is such a perfect day to walk through the woods, watch the leaves fall, watch the colors change. Temperature is perfect, feels like room temperature, gentle breeze rustling through the trees. Yeah, it's a really nice time in this first day of competition, and yeah, looking forward to more.
Niklas's drive nearly perfect here on the 11th. Just needed to hold the turn a bit longer. These type of holes are why I was so interested to watch Niklas play this course. When he is playing at his best, he is carving up lines out here to perfection. That time, just hyzering out a bit early is going to make it difficult to get to the green on the second shot.
At the ninth.
Well, late trees interfere with what otherwise was a beautiful shot from Calvin. Still looking at a potential birdie look, though. And he's back to a much more manageable 2 down to Gannon. And how he would love to get that to 1 down heading into the back 9. And he's going to have a chance.
Early tree for Gannon Burr there at the 430-foot par 3.
Hole 9 at Hornets Nest was where I consider the birth of a star with Gannon Burr several years ago. We were playing from a different tee pad, but Gannon hit one of the very first trees available on the difficult 430-foot hole, whatever the whole length is, and then absolutely parked it. And I believe he was 17 years old at the time. Maybe he was even 16. And we didn't know who Gannon Burr was before that, but we certainly knew who he was after.
Ezra Robinson, I was about to say, looking for a little momentum. Hasn't won a hole since hole number 1.
And he's played really well. Just Matty O's been rising up to the occasion.
Hold offline.
Brutal kick left. In some ways, because Ezra had the double kick back in the fairway, he was actually in a better position to birdie than Niklas was with his great full flex drive, but with that kick, the advantage certainly goes right back to Niklas. Back into the fairway for Dickerson. Brutal second kick, or second tree kick in a row for Ezra.
Barella.
Oh my goodness. That had a special line to it and ended up hitting a blind tree around the corner. Big shot for Gannon. If he can put this one close, there's a good chance he'll walk away with hole 9 with a 2-shot lead going into the 10th. That's a killer shot.
To Antala. All square with 8 or hold. They're at the 11th.
Now he's going to want to keep this one high and turn. Does well. Doesn't get full flight there, but tough from that position to get the disc to fully flex its way back out to the pin.
Right arm kicked to here. Throwing his second at the par 3.
Now, normally you'd be in trouble if this was your second shot on hole 9, but Ezra in a lot more trouble with his consecutive tree kicks in the woods.
Earhart throwing his third now.
Well done.
Dickerson's at the 11th. This is his third throw at the par 4. Little tree love.
Friendly.
Well, he's kind of dressed like a tree.
How can he? Where is he? I didn't see him. Where was he? I'm not sure I got the math right on what's going on between Matt E.O. and Ezra here, but there's been a lot of shots thrown between the two of them.
Yeah, I think Ezra is lying one more than maybe initially thought. He's putting for bogey.
So it looks like they're going to walk away with the halves. Okay.
2026 events in Europe. Your opportunity to get your 2026 DGPT Europe early bird ticket. You can lock in the best prices for full event VIP passes at each of these European stops next season. Head over to europe.dgpt.com to grab yours today. Got to think way ahead for a long trip like that to Europe, as it would be for any of our U.S.-based viewers.
Yeah, but the European-based fans, you know you're going to be there. Just go ahead and get your tickets now.
Yeah. Go right ahead. Hey, Christmas present.
Well, Calvin is now going to be one back. He's going to get back-to-back holes. On Gannon, he's asking him, do I need to play the hole out? And Gannon says, just do that thing right there, and we'll just call it over. So very positive swing of events in Calvin's favor here on the 8th and 9th.
Antala.
Again, unable to finish the job on the green, this time just outside the circle, but the big skip off the top means he still has work left to do.
Feels like with this entire foursome, both of these matches, we've seen a lot of putts to win that haven't fallen so far through a little more than the first half of this round.
Correct. Well, it's in.
But we've also seen a lot of that, Germ. Putts to save the have and to move on. So I guess a little of each. Dickerson, though, up 4 now for 11.
It's going to be hard to come back from that for Anthony.
Flying over the 10th now, where Burr, Heimberg, Oram, and Robinson will battle next. The 10th, a par 3, 345 feet.
Well, I think this route right here might be chosen for Gannon. He might try the forehand on this side of the tree that goes to the left of this next tree, and it hyzers back. If he doesn't go that route, more than likely we're going to see that left to right shaped Anheuser that we saw both from Aderhold and Niklas Antala. It suits this gap the best as we go through the woods. So not only do you have to throw this incredibly technical shot, you also have to beat this row of trees that guards the green. Incredibly tough birdie to get. Very rewarding too.
Once again, thanks to Flight Factory for the flyover.
Hold it.
Yeah. That is really what you're looking for there for Matty-O. Asking for it to hold right out of the hand. You got to hold that line a long time going this wide left. That's
sort of like that.
Bananas. That is just straight up Southern American bananas.
Rolling back the Zuka replay on this one.
That is plantains is what that is, Grant. What a shot. You just don't see him throw this well.
It's the Disc Golf Pro Tour's 10th anniversary. Zuka joining in the celebration. Get 15% off your favorite disc carts and gear at Zuka.com. Use the code ZukaChamp all weekend long.
And that's what can happen if you miss the line. Now, Calvin is going to be in a world of hurt. Early right side is brutal trying to save the par from there. So it looks like Gannon is going to join the masses in this wide Anheuser.
Knows he's given up 2 in a row to Calvin. Knows Calvin is in a bit of trouble.
Oh, wow. Uncharacteristic first tree available mistake for Gannon. And Calvin, yes, was in a bit of trouble, but now he is in dominating control. He at least has an opportunity to save the par. I don't know what Gannon's going to have. That early, that far right is going to be in a world of hurt.
To the 12th, an 819-foot par 4, Niklas Antala over on the left-hand side.
That hyzer plays for Aderhold. It does sacrifice a potential little bit of distance, but as long as you don't skip too far left into the tree line, you should be able to throw a second shot that has some chance of getting to the pin. But it is going to be a big, blind, Anheuser turning second shot for any one of these drives.
Speaking of blind.
Yeah, wow.
Gannon Burr could hunt ducks from there.
I was going to say, it is deer hunting season, correct? Where did that finish?
I feel like I heard it before I saw it.
Yeah.
The camera indicates he's got a chance to save the par from where he is.
Wow.
Back to 8 or hold at the 12.
Got to hold the entire way here, without overturning and rolling out of the shot. It's such a highly technical power shot to throw from back here. You just don't see that many birdies come from drives that short.
8 or hold, a big year for him. Not due to anything other than that best finish for a lot of players. They would love that to be a career highlight. 8 or hold, though, feels like he's just getting started.
Yeah, he had things in control going for him at the Cascade Challenge as well, and just that last round was a disastrous, forgettable round for him, and Anthony Brella ended up taking that one down, but learned from that experience, came back in Des Moines, and just put together an incredible finish. And you just love seeing the raw emotion that we got to see from Ezra when that final putt went on the 18. That's what it's all about. And let's not glance over one of the greatest rounds ever shot in major history with his 14 under at the Monster. That's a round that will go down in history as one of the best played rounds of disc golf ever. If you've played the Monster, you understand 14 under is not doable. Yet he done did it. I cannot believe Gannon is putting for par from inside the, well, right at circle's edge. This is outstanding. Unbelievable, really. Wow.
For him now, a birdie look, and he knows his opponent Robinson is closer.
Not just closer, parked. What a match we've got going on between Oram and Robinson. This has been awesome to watch. It's kind of turning into the Missy Gannon Silva Sarnen match that we saw in the early window.
It's a good comparison.
Two first tree availables hit, 2 par saves for Calvin and Gannon. Also an incredible match brewing between these two.
Couple of one-point matches heading to the back 9. Going to be an exciting finish here from day 1 of the Match Play Championship. Back in a moment.
The Mach 2 is a legend. For decades, it has been the go-to basket from backyards to courses around the world. Now, we've taken that same trusted design, the same legendary durability, and upgraded to Pro. The Mach 2 Pro features a 24-chain configuration that honors its heritage while setting a new standard for performance. This is the basket you know, perfected for the player you're becoming. Continue the legacy. Order your Mach 2 Pro now.
Dickerson at the 12th, throwing 2.
Just trying to get to the bottom of the hill in the gap. It's essentially all you can do from back there, and it comes up a little bit right side. Should be okay, though. Anthony, when you get into the tree line here, you're in a lot of trouble. But that forehand fighting through down the gap. Oh, my gosh, Grant.
That's insane. That's what a shot that was.
That's hard to believe. Wow. What an effort.
Quickly to the 11th, Calvin Heimberg off the tee.
I think he's going to like that kick. Yeah, he's behind a tree, but where that drive was heading, it was going to be really tricky to get a second shot anywhere near the pin. I think he's going to be happy with that result in the end.
Gannon Buhr takes a 1-point lead to the 11th.
Just that one.
This could be next level. Yeah, this is next level. Unbelievable. That's the best drive ever thrown on this hole. That's the best drive thrown on this hole ever. That is
speechless.
Yeah.
Absolutely stunned.
I just didn't even know that was an option, really. My goodness. And that's how you draw it up. That shot shape that Matteo just threw is gorgeous. When Gannon was passing where Matteo's drive landed, his disc was 30 feet in the air, still turning over. Well, maybe 15 feet in the air. Either way. Oh, my gosh.
It's like the home run that's still going up when it clears the fence. As a Robinson, a little ground play and pretty good himself.
Very well,
but Gannon, that tee shot from Gannon, Brian, you saw it with your own eyes in 3D.
Well, Grant, we all just had a collective laugh. There were some spectators that thought they were far enough down in the fairway because they've probably never seen a disc come close to where they were sitting. Gannon's disc faded right in front of a spectator's face. He didn't even flinch. He was having a blast watching it fly right by his head. This dude literally has a jump putt for an eagle on an iconic par 4 here in Charlotte. I'm here almost every day when I have the chance, and I've never seen anything close to that. So awesome to watch.
We're seeing your reaction right now, Brian. That was exactly the way all of us felt.
I don't know what to say about that. It's...
Nicholas Ontelot, the 12th.
You can't be the best putter in the world and then also be able to do stuff like that. That's just unfair. It makes competition silly.
He's greedy. There's Raider hold.
A good effort given.
I think by my math, that might give Antala the hole there at the 12th. We'll confirm. Meanwhile, to Calvin, having to try to find a way to respond after seeing what Gannon just did.
Just too much Anheuser there for Calvin. The double kick back into the woods. That's brutal. Odds were against him once that drive left Gannon's hand, but Calvin did not do himself any favors with that big kick off into the woods. Edge of the circle coming up for Robinson. Meanwhile, this is what Barella's left with for the birdie. That
after that forehand from the other side.
I got to give the nod to Gannon for a more impressive shot, but it's not by much. It's not by much. Getting there through the wood line, through the gap he had to hit, being about 7 or 8 rows of trees into the forest on the left side of the fairway, you just don't get birdie looks from there. And not only that, he put it to about 24 feet away. Stunning shot from Barella. And it may or may not be too little too late for him, but still, I mean, that is a shot that we at least are lucky enough to see.
Untala with that putt takes hole 12 from Ezra Aderhold and claims a 1-up lead through 2/3 of our round. Dickerson maintaining. So Barella, despite that incredible play at the 12, still some work to do. Back to Matty O. Can't get the swing that he needed.
That shot's just made more difficult without having the forehand turnover, which bends into the gap. The backhand is a much more technical shot, something that he has for sure. He missed the shot. He had that line, but pulled it a little bit to the right, and we'll see if he pays the price by not getting close to the pin with Ezra having a 35-foot look for birdie coming up.
So Calvin already thrown his third before Gannon
Matty O's going to throw his third
drive.
before we get to Gannon's drive.
Indeed. I'd be throwing my 5th or 8th.
FPO's teeing off about 200 feet closer, and no one was even within 100 feet of this drive. Just to kind of put things in perspective. I mean, that's just an jump putting, not with his mid-range, but with his actual putter.
A little razzing from the crowd there. Wanted to see Gannon go for it.
I've been booing, for sure. I'm booing that guy right now, too. I mean,
I think he meant it. No, I think he was going for it.
No, he wasn't, Grant. Don't give him that credit. Don't give him that credit. I don't think he was going for it.
Facial expression looked serious.
Ezra's leading the way with the boos. I love it. I love it. And Matty O will pay the price. What a putt from Ezra. And this match continues to get better and better.
Untala at 13.
Now this pin is going to be brought back an extra 100 feet or so. Very challenging right to left shot shape. Requires a lot of hyzer and flipping up the entire way. That is so good. So challenging to keep the disc within the confines of the fairway, and also either not flip up too much or not hyzer too much. Getting that line perfect is very tricky. And that's what you typically see there. Actually, Ezra gets a little lucky to strike a tree. Typically, that's going to finish another 30 feet left of where it ended up going.
Back at the 12, flying over this very challenging par 4.
Yeah, it's just a long way to go. You have a big open fairway. The shot shape is one of two things. You've either got the hyzer flip to late turn for the big distance shot, or you see these trees on the right side. You can try to take them on with height and try to clear them with a little bit of hyzer. If you throw a perfect tee shot, you're landing on the left side of your screen right about here. From there, these trees on the right side of your screen really start to come into play. You're going to have to go over them or under them, depending on where your drive landed. Going through this narrow corner as it turns and goes straight down this alleyway, the basket tucked in deep in there. Now, the angle on the approach is usually a big high and hyzer, but if a drive is thrown long enough and you are granted or gifted the straight shot, it really makes this approach a lot more doable. But this is a very challenging par 4. The FPO is playing the same exact hole, and it's a par 5 for them for good reason.
You can say granted anytime you like, my friend. Robinson. Just fine.
Now, when this course was redesigned and this was utilized as a par 4, it seriously changed the flow of the original Hornet's Nest that I grew to love. And it took me a while to come to love this iteration. And I think after a few years of getting to know this particular layout and getting to appreciate this for the par 4 that it is, I think that it's a better Hornet's Nest than it was before. But, you know, that's the way it is always with old heads. You get used to the way things were, and you kind of hate to see the things that you got used to go away. But this place is special regardless of what iteration you play it. There's that shot shape you're looking for. The hyzer flip, turn, hold, get the big distance. You're not going to see too many drives better than that one right there. That opens up a fairly mild anhyzer shape coming up for Gann in second.
Beautiful.
Well done.
Just a little tighter to the corner.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if I was in love with it initially because the height seemed low, but that's just what Calvin does. He throws it low, he keeps the nose up, the disc stays on that line, gets him the extra ride.
Dickerson stepper for the birdie. Just off.
And kills the mosquito on his right leg in the process. Well done there. Safety first.
8 or hold.
In the heart.
Onslaught now for the birdie to match 8 or hold.
That's what we love to see. Birdies on 13 having the holes. That is fantastic stuff there from 8 or hold. And Onslaught.
Barella and Dickerson will have the hole with pars, and we are back to the second at 12. I want to go to Brian Earhart for these shots.
Well, this is one of my favorite shots in Charlotte. It's one of the few wide open, towering anhyzers you have to throw. And once you kind of hit the gap leading into the woods, you start to hit the funnel with that turn. You have to flatten really nicely and crash towards the basket. These 100-foot tall oaks guarding the pin. Such a nice shot. Maddie right in that spot to throw that really technical power shot. It's the same disc he threw on hole 10. Wow, he snuck through all the way. That is going to be a putt. You don't really see too many people sneak through that tree line. Back to you guys.
A beautiful shot. The prettiest shot in the sport of disc golf, like Brian's saying, is the big towering anhyzer that just holds the line as if it were thrown a straight shot thrown from some guy on the left that you don't see in the screen. That's
right.
I just love that shot so much.
It's a good picture.
That's exactly what this shot forces.
I love that for those watching at home, where his eyes were at a point way up in the sky.
It's just disc golf at its most fun is executing that shot properly. What a shot from Calvin. Beautiful. Gannon knows exactly what he has to do now, but that's one of the best drives you're going to see on the hole, so let's see what he is left with. He may have thrown it too far where he doesn't have the same gap that everyone else has. He might have to go with the forehand flex shot. Yeah, he's going to have to go with a low sidearm skip. Wow. Wow.
So many great shots there. That second on 12, delivering as it frequently does. To Barella now at 14.
415 and just grounds it. Got to put a ton of power on this tee shot to hit the gap and get the distance that you need in order to get the birdie look. Chris just delivering on all phases of the game today.
Even with that late tree kick, definitely advantage Dickerson, and it's getting late for Barella in that match. Back to Robinson.
Well done.
Antelat, the 14th.
Super techie turnover. Wow. Oh, you hate to see one of the guardian trees get in the way of such a gorgeous shot shape from Nicolas. Still going to get rewarded with a birdie look. What a shot. What a shot from Ezra. So much power with his forehand. He's really done so well in the last couple of years honing in that forehand's control. He's had the power, but maintaining control with that power is the most important thing for him, and he's really got it on lock. A shame Matteo didn't have a better look after that quality Anheuser approach, but no harm, no foul. Gorgeous. It's the high quality birdie for Calvin.
Had to have it knowing where Burr is and already down 2.
Correct. Yeah, at this stage of the game, I mean, it's the same thing that Anthony Barella went into the 12th or the 13th being down 3. It's just, you can almost call it. It's almost game over at that point. Calvin definitely had to make that putt.
But don't toot out just yet. This morning we had a match Dormie, and the player behind came back to win in extras. Trina Allen moving on. And we will move on to the 13th. Let's jump further ahead. The 15th, Anthony Barella.
I'll have that for par. Meanwhile, Chris is up there looking at a birdie look.
May have misspoke there, said 15, meant 14, and Nicholas Antala under the basket.
This would force a Dormie 4 situation. And it is in for Dickerson. What a birdie for Ezra. That is just good disc golf, man. We are seeing some great disc golf today, Grant.
And more importantly, squares things up with just 4 holes to play. Does Ezra Aderhold?
It's what you want to see, man. You want to see holes won with birdies on an incredibly challenging track. And at least one person from each matchup is stepping up nearly on every hole and giving this course its own little beatdown right now. And this is just not something that Hornets Nest is used to.
Back to the group at 13. Gannon on the tee. Brian, you're there and you see what they see. What a hole this is, yeah?
Oh, I love this tee shot. And I throw this as a lefty. It's just such a beautiful late turnover if you're throwing counterclockwise. And that goes for Jeremy in the booth throwing the forehand. But then when you're throwing the backhand, it looks like a stock hyzer, but the green slopes away down to the left. So you have to get it to flatten late. You bend the corner, you push left, and then you have to push straight with something flippy. Every single choice off the tee is challenged. I love this hole so much.
That makes me very happy to hear you say that, Brian. This is like, just what a shot from Calvin.
Okay, Calvin.
Insanely good. Yeah, and he's right. Every shot choice that you choose is challenged. The forehand turnover was the intention behind the design when I was walking this course with Mark Huther years and years ago. And yet it's the shot that you very rarely ever seen here. The backhand is the predominant play. But with the slope leading from right to left, it just takes all these shots and sends them down the hill. Unless another person hits a tree on the green and gets lucky, as you see here with Ezra, typically those shots are out of birdie position.
Robinson and Oram all square.
Early inside for Matty O. Does he get away with it? He does.
Yep.
And that's what we're talking about there. That's where that leading hyzer ends up finishing typically. Matty O just happy to get around that corner, though. That was a little more inside than he'd like.
Not that we're gonna not think about that.
Ahead to the par 3 15th, 321 feet. Chris Dickerson off the tee.
And any birdie that Chris gets in the final 4 holes would be game over unless Anthony were able to throw it in for the ace. And that right there will do it.
Offline there, Chris Dickerson. What a display, Brian Brian, you've got something on Chris Dickerson and his preparation coming into this event, don't you?
Yeah, I talked to him during the press conference, and he was just telling me how excited he was to get the call up to substitute for Isaac Robinson. He said he was so disappointed in the way this season has gone for him, but it felt like he went through what he needed to go through and has started to find his rhythm. But he said he was sad that the season ended so early, so he's thrilled to get to come back here, find some competition again, and gain some momentum going into the off season.
Season ended early. That is news to me. Gannon somehow willing that one in, to Calvin's dismay. What a putt.
Rolling back the Zuka replay one more time on this downhill putt.
I can relate to what Chris is saying, though. There's something about getting back to the East Coast for the final stretch of the season. Chris, who obviously learned how to play disc golf in the technical golf of Tennessee, and it's a style of golf that he's familiar with. And so you get to kind of get that taste as you're getting into this final stretch, and then just before you know it, the season's over. And I can relate a little bit to that feeling. Oh,
Matty. Oh.
Are we going to see a star frame on 13? That would be truly bonkers to me.
Just has that disc in that high starting point, punches it right out into the chains. Playing fast, Ezra Robinson responds.
Unusually high level of disc golf we're seeing right now. This is really good stuff. Maybe down to potentially his final throw. If this doesn't go in, match is over. That'll just about do it. Just as a reminder, this is not a single elimination tournament as far as Anthony Burrell's weekend being over, but Anthony's chances of winning the overall tournament have ended by him losing to Chris Dickerson here on the 15th. So, yeah, only one person is going to win on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and that will be the champion taking home $15,000.
Everybody else, though, playing for something. Anthony Varela trying to work his way up as best he can from here on out. Trying to just capture positive vibes heading into the off season. Aderhold and Antala continue on alone here at the 16th.
Just need to get that to flip up a bit straighter for Ezra.
Both players off to players left there at the 16th.
Ezra electing to go backhand through the tight window here on the 14th. Just insane. That's plantains again, man.
Sometimes bananas just won't express.
Oh.
Off the big putt and then off the first tree.
That's one of those situations in match play where you almost want to turn to your opponent and say, you're good. Like, we don't need to go through this adventure. I think we all know where this is going. But obviously that will not happen here. But yeah, incredible drive matched with a first tree hit for Matteo. A great shot inside the circle for Gannon. His putt has been on the money today. Is it going to turn back in time? It does not quite get the shape Calvin was looking for. That could be trouble for your 2025 Pro Tour champion.
Ederhold chopping that over and into the circle.
A little board side action, a little stall perhaps. Stays on the good side of the log and left with 23 feet left for the par. Niklas guaranteed the par, so perhaps a little bit of pressure on Ederhold to knock down his putt.
Antala in, and I believe Ezrahold already in there, so the hole halved, and the match remains square going into the final two holes.
What an excellent matchup we've got there. I really thought this was Niklas's match to lose, but Ezra's been playing some great disc golf today. Obviously, he's had an incredible season, and he's a great player in the woods. But these woods typically serve a player like Niklas's skill set just a bit better, but so far Niklas's putting hasn't been as good as he'd like, and therefore it's showing with an all square. And now you can maybe turn to your opponent.
I think that was one of those nothing to lose, gonna put it high. Now got to go find it.
No fighting this guy. It's not the Bama spirit.
The strongest limb I ever saw. Not that it was doing nothing.
Maybe now's the time when you can look to your opponent.
There it was, I believe. The thumbs up.
Yeah.
All done.
No mas, por favor. Calvin in a tough spot coming up here, knowing that Gannon is close. He's not sure exactly how close, but close enough to apply some pressure that if Calvin does not make this upcoming putt, he's going to be in a world of trouble.
Ezra getting some applause, but that disc off to players left.
Yeah, I don't know if that warranted the applause that it received.
A 727-foot par 4.
That one, as long as it's not too long. Ooh. I fear it may be a bit too long. Still in better position than Aderhold. Calvin doesn't even have a look at the pin. Brutal.
Calvin in some danger now. Down 2. We'll go back to Ezra. This is where he ended up, well off to the left.
Yeah, he's just fighting to get back to the fairway at this point. There is still a mandatory that he has to navigate. It seems like he's back into position to play for the par. Oh, Gannon's closer than Circle's Edge. He's just 25 feet away. What an outstanding drive.
Takes it down, and the lead is now 3 with 4 to play. So Calvin looking for a late round miracle, and we've seen one today. We'll be right back on the Disc Golf Network.
Calvin, looking good today. Calvin Heimberg.
Excuse me, sorry. Hey, oh, sorry. Excuse me. Hello. Hey, thank you. Anaqua. I'm looking for Anaqua. Do you have one?
Hey, Germ, you can't cut in line.
My apologies. You may have noticed I just cut you in line. I'm just looking for Anaqua.
Anaqua, here, use mine.
Got it. Thanks.
You play disc golf long enough, you can relate to this experience. You adjust your stance, you change your putter, you make all these little tweaks to improve your form. But at the end of the day, sometimes you just have to go back to fundamentals. That's exactly what we did with the Octothorpe. More stable, more refined, more features for the modern disc golfer. This is the Octothorpe reimagined.
At this point, Gannon just has to avoid making mistakes. Obviously, not putting himself in super close position for the birdie opens the door for Calvin, but he's applied all the pressure to Calvin, and Calvin has to win 3 of these next 4 holes just to push the match. Is looking quite good. That is looking quite good.
Robinson coming off of the birdie. 1 up now on Orem.
He was never even really given the opportunity to finish the birdie. But yeah, it would have been a birdie. He threw an absolutely magical drive, as he's done here on the gauntlet. Ezra's got something going for him right now. I enjoyed that coverage there. It is cool to watch the disc, but sometimes watching the players focus is just equally as entertaining.
Antala, that's his second here at the par 4 17th.
They're calling this a par 4 from the 727 position? I am sorry, but that is a par 5 every day of the week.
Yeah, and I believe there was a delay there. That said that was Aderhold's second, but I believe that was his third.
That's his third shot.
And this now is Antala's third.
Yeah, this has historically been a par 5. I wasn't sure which position the men would be playing, but yeah, from the back position, I am shocked they're calling that a par 4. I'm only familiar with 2 people ever getting 3s on it, Aderhold being one of them. That's a huge miss for Matty O, and he is about to be down 2 with 3 to go. This would just be a dagger for Gannon. Okay.
Calvin Heimberg still with a chip in a chair.
Might be me.
Antala off the mark, and that was for par. So now Aderhold
to go up 1 with 1 to go. In the heart. Gannon further away for his par putt than Calvin is for his birdie putt. Tells you how good of a drive Calvin just had.
Oh,
I literally just felt
Calvin.
a sharp sensation to my sternum with that miss. Oh, brutal.
Just a heartbreaking moment for Calvin Heimberg. A chance there would have been, would have had a chance there to make a game of it here coming down the close instead. Yep.
Calvin can nearly kiss his chances of winning this tournament goodbye with that miss. That is a brutal time to miss high.
Aderhold at 18. 486.
Wow. Well, it's not parked. It's a great shot, but Niklas can certainly improve.
Sometimes I wonder about the pressure in this situation. On one hand, gotta have it. On the other hand, absolutely nothing to lose here. Just send it.
Yeah, I don't think they're feeling pressure so much as just responding to the situation. I'd say that's a decent response.
Okay. Nicholas Antala with perhaps a contender for shot of the day.
He starts it off with a hyzer, as Niklas likes to, and then just bends it as to the full maximum of the width of the right side of the fairway before it hyzers back at the end, just one pace outside bullseye. Truly gorgeous.
Back to Ezra Robinson.
See if somebody can finally get this hole right. We have not seen one park job today on the 16th, and it's no surprise, being one of the more tricky lines there is, not just in Charlotte, but in the sport of disc golf. A very specific line has to be thrown off this tee.
An almost must-have opportunity for Matteo.
Yes. Yeah, that's what he needed. He needed the flip up there, and without it, barring a meltdown from Robinson, Matteo's going to find himself in a Dormie situation going into the final two. And here we go. We finally see another player choosing the forehand route. And look at the advantage that it presents. It's just a slightly more true line, I believe. I'm curious if Brian agrees with that after we see Calvin's drive, what he thinks about the difference between the righty route and the lefty route.
Yeah, I assume that's the route.
So,
that he...
I'm so happy you threw it to me, Germ. Look at that.
Go for it, Brian.
Well, I was going to say, I'm so happy you threw it to me because I was just talking to Gannon, and he stepped up to this tee shot, and he goes, everyone kind of thinks it's a stock hyzer or like a hyzer flip, but he's like, this is a Paul McBeth shot. This is that floaty down-tempo shot, a little bit of nose up that gets out there and then dies at the end of the flight. I used to play this course with James Conrad a lot, and there was a streak where he got to circle one like 10 times in a row, throwing that stable envy, just flat, hard, letting it die at the end. It's such a cool, specific shot on the right. But on the left, I like the righty forehand more than the lefty backhand. I can't overstate how impressive Nathan Queen's shot on that left side was when he won the Tour Championship. Just incredible stuff.
Yeah, I'll never forget that shot either. It was the solidifier for him taking down the championship, and just one of those moments that just replays in my mind. And man, it would be pretty cool if we could watch that shot right now, huh, Grant?
Almost like it was planned ahead of time. Here it is from 2021.
Just look at the control there. The slight bend from right to left, using all the fairway, hyzering around the backside into bullseye. That was such a huge moment for him. Nathan, the king of the Queen City was Nathan Queen that day. It was a pretty remarkable headline.
That Orm juices it.
Well, there are a couple things. Not only is that potentially out of bounds, but if he loses the hole, the match is over.
We go to Earhart, the putt on 18.
To win the match, Ezra from 35. Boom!
Smashing chains on the elevated basket at 18. Wow. No doubt about it.
And just like that, Niklas Antila has been eliminated from winning the championship.
We will see more of Nicholas tomorrow, but Ezra Earhart advances through the winner's bracket. One up, goes the distance, and comes out victorious. Well done there for Earhart, and that card is done, with Dickerson already having taken down the victory over Anthony Barella. Really stellar play that we got to see today from those guys. And a look at the bracket. One side decided. It'll be Earhart and Dickerson tomorrow here on the Disc Golf Network.
And both of these matches in match 1 and 2 are nearly decided as well. Like I said, Matt Oram loses this hole and it is over. Ezra Robinson will advance. Meanwhile, Calvin finds himself in Dormie, he does not have an advantage right now over Gannon in any sense of the word. So more than likely, we could end this match on this hole.
Calvin.
And with that not going in, all Gannon needs to do is that right there. The handshake, the acknowledgement, and Gannon Buhr, the #1 player in the world, will advance. I don't know what his caddy wants to do with that flag in the ground, but it's been given to him.
This one's still in doubt for the moment. Matty O for the par, needs it.
Has to make it. And that match is over as well. Just like that.
There's an excitement that you only get with match play in terms of the speed that the final score comes down in these situations. When you get late in the round, all of a sudden just one putt, just one miss, just one make, and the entire thing is decided right there.
It happens so quick, Grant. It was a great match between Matty O and Ezra the whole time. Just at the very end, Matty O lost a couple and Ezra got hot at the right time, and just like that, it's all over.
Excited for Ezra getting the chance also to move on with his brother dropping out, of course, for no better reason. Good to see Ezra carrying the family name into the weekend. Jeremy, things play out more or less as you expected in terms of how the course played and how it sort of delivered on making these victories decisive or in keeping things close until the end. I mean, is this about what you expected in terms of how the players scored, how many birdies that they had to get in order to succeed? Is this what you thought you'd see?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I think Hornets Nest delivered on the challenge aspect. And these players really had to go above and beyond to get those strokes. They had to find those birdies, and we saw a lot of them today. 3 star frames for our feature card is incredible for all 4 players to get through any particular hole with all birdies. But yeah, it was incredible action. The players were punished. The players were rewarded with the good shots. It was an outstanding day for match play. I'm not the least bit surprised with anything that happened today at all.
Brian Earhart standing by with Gannon Buhr and Ezra Robinson right there at 16. Take it away, Mr. Earhart.
I got a couple of winners today standing with me after a wonderful day out here at Hornets Nest. I got Ezra, I got Gannon. They're going head-to-head tomorrow. Before we jump to that, I want to ask both you guys, how was the day out there at Hornets Nest?
It was great. The weather's fantastic. It was pretty easy to just start out already in a good mindset and a beautiful day in the woods. I love the woods. So, yeah, you got to just hit your tee shots and make your putts, and it felt pretty easy today.
Easy as that? Is it really that easy?
I don't think so. I mean, I think we both actually, we were standing together. We played a practice round yesterday, and I think we actually dialed in our game plans pretty well. So when you can kind of take the questioning out of it, it's a lot easier to commit to your shots and just not really second guess yourself. Just you know what to do and you have to commit to it. So I think I threw a lot of similar shots in my round yesterday, and I think that is what helped me a lot out here today. And then it was just nice to have a couple-week break to kind of reset and then come out here and just, it's a lot less stressful in match play because you can only lose the hole. You're not going to lose 2 strokes in one hole or 3 strokes. So I think just a couple mindset switches and then obviously having a good game plan was important.
I'm going to ask you one question before I get back to Ezra. You broke a lot of people's brains with that tee shot on hole 11. Longest shot that I've ever seen, Jeremy's ever seen. Talk about that shot. What are you actually lining up, and how close to perfect was that?
I mean, you saw exactly what I was trying to do. I mean, basically, it's something I've been doing specifically this year a lot more, and especially when my game feels on, it is benefiting me a lot. But I'm just ripping drivers on par 4s in the woods. I did it a lot at Northwood and a few more courses out there where it just seems to, I feel just as confident with the driver as I do a mid-range or a fairway. So I'm like, I might as well just blast it down there, and I can get that DD3 to fly pretty straight even, and it doesn't have too much movement left and right. So as long as I hit the line, I felt good about it. And once it left my hand, I knew it had to beat 2 trees, and got past that, and I knew it was good.
Ezra, you're playing Gannon tomorrow. You're staying with him. What do you got to do? What do you got to do to beat this guy?
Well, I mean, he made pretty much every putt he looks at, and if he's getting, eagle bids on a 770 through the woods, I mean, I got to sneak some in his food, I guess. Yeah, that's about it.
Poison. Poison is the strategy going into tomorrow. That is Saturday. I'll see you guys later. Go home. No poison.
Thanks,
no
Brian.
poison, guys.
Can you imagine the two of them in a boxing match? You have the compact power of Ezra Robinson,
Give me Ezra.
the
Give me
reach,
Ezra.
the reach of Gannon Burr.
I don't care about the reach of Gannon.
How do you get inside on that?
Ezra's stout, man. He's the Peach Pirate. How are you going to take it? You got to take the Peach Pirate in a boxing match.
One of my favorite nicknames in all of disc golf. Back after this to wrap things up from Hornets Nest in Charlotte.
What is the simplest way to improve your disc golf game? The answer, learn from the very best. Paul Ulibarri, Simon Lizotte, Ezra Aderholt, and Holland Hanley. They're not just players, they are your elite coaches guiding you every step of the way. The Power Disc Golf Academy is the premier online disc golf academy with over 150 on-demand lessons that are specifically designed to improve your skills right now. So what are you waiting for? Join today at powerdga.com.
Bean boots aren't made to sit on a shelf. They're made to be worn. To see the world from the ground up. From Maine to Tokyo. Side trails to soccer practice. Seasoned by the seasons themselves. You wear them in by simply wearing them out. Here, there, and everywhere in between. These are boots that become more and more yours with every step forward. And the best way to wear them is to just keep wearing them.
I knew Levi before Pound was a company. He wants it to be perfect. And I think he's the kind of guy that nothing's ever perfect. At this point, I don't think anyone's disputing that it's the best bag ever made. It's the most comfortable bag that I've ever worn. The most tough and well-built and long-lasting thing that I'd ever tried on.
If you design, if you test, if you manufacture, there is only one technology partner you need. TriMet Group is the leading provider of design, engineering, and manufacturing solutions for thousands of companies across North America and Europe. Innovation starts here. TriMetGroup.com.
Progress doesn't stand still. Neither do we. Every moment matters, every step evolving through experience. Trust breeds confidence, and confidence is everything. Any terrain, any conditions. The all-new Syncrasy V2 by Ideo Sports.
Legends built it. The next generation is elevating it. The most dominant team in disc golf history just got deeper. World champions, record breakers, the future of the game, united under one banner. This isn't just competition. It's a legacy in motion. This is the next chapter. Discraft, built for flight.
Tie at the top. She has to make it.
No way!
Nervy putt to win. Hanley! Her first Disc Golf Pro Tour elite event.
At Pound, the quality of our gear runs deeper than the stitching. That's why we design and build everything right here in the US. We source the highest quality US materials to make the most comfortable and durable pack in disc golf.
Grant Zellner alongside Jeremy Koling, and what a day, this day number one of the Match Play Championship, Jeremy. Exactly what we thought it would deliver in terms of players having to execute great shots in order to get individual holes, build up the lead, and then take down the victory, or in a few cases, come from behind to make an issue of it late. And we got to see a lot of entertaining shots there, especially late. Lots of pressure, lots of big putts. Lots of great drives. Is it exactly what you expected out of Hornets Nest?
It was a great day of match play. The only match that didn't have lead changes was the Calvin Heimberg Gannon Burr match. Gannon held that one down the whole way, never trailed Calvin. Other than that, there was lead changes in each of the other matches. It was incredibly well, actually, never mind. I take that back. Chris Dickerson had the lead the entire way over Anthony Barella, but the other two matches were incredibly challenging, exciting, dramatic, up and downs. A lot of birdies. You didn't see many birdies or holes won with pars, and that's what you want to see in match play. You want to see them excelling and taking down holes with birdies, and that's what we got to see today. An incredible display of disc golf from hole 1 all the way to hole 18, with Ezra making that incredible putt on the final hole to win the match.
A great preview, I think, too, of the event that will be next year at the Hornets Nest, and the fact that we saw holes halved with bogeys. So no matter what is happening, this course is keeping you on the edge of your seat. And we see now what we're going to get tomorrow in terms of a little bit of I don't know what the opposite of an hors d'oeuvre is. Dessert, maybe? I don't know. Sure. We'll have an after dessert on Sunday as well. Gannon Burr and Ezra Robinson going toe-to-toe tomorrow in match number 5. Ezra Aderhold and Chris Dickerson in match number 6. And by the way, all of the players that lost today will continue in a consolation bracket. So if one of your favorite players lost today, no worries. They'll still be out there playing tomorrow. And they've got something to play for as well in terms of prize money and in terms of maybe building some positive momentum into the offseason. Are you stoked about these two potential matchups for tomorrow, Jerm?
I'm stoked about all four, even in the losers bracket. It's match play. It's just fun disc golf to watch. But yeah, the final four players, you could have given me any arrangement of four players from today, and I'd be excited about it just because the event itself is always exciting. But Chris Dickerson out the gates today, just starting off with highlight putts and highlight drives, really putting the pressure on Anthony Barela early on. Getting a birdie on hole 1 is such a tough thing to do, and Chris Dickerson, great tee shot and even better putt there to walk away. Subbing in for the new father, Isaac Robinson, and carrying on the legacy with pride.
Built some momentum early in his round, did Dickerson, and just never really let go of it.
Aderhold was my biggest surprise today. Just not that he doesn't have the game. It's just I was really excited to see how Niklas would play out here today. But man, Ezra brought the noise. He made big putts. He threw great drives through the woods. And this clutch putt on 18 sends Niklas home packing. Well, metaphorically.
Figuratively speaking, yes.
Figuratively speaking.
Gannon Buhr doing what Gannon Buhr has done so frequently in
shot of
recent
the day.
days.
There's no question, and there's not like a secondary option either. I mean, the clutch putt that Ezra made on 18 was cool and all, but that drive was, I mean, I've been coming here for a long, long time, and I've never seen a drive that far before. That says something right there. That was a special throw from Gannon back there on 11.
And some inspired golf from Ezra Robinson.
Yeah, Ezra he had the putter rolling today. Very few misses, and Matty O, hats off to him. Yeah, he ended up losing 3 down in the match, which seems lopsided. It was not a lopsided match. It just all came there right at the end. Ezra put the pedal to the metal at the right time, but really, Matty O was controlling the match about halfway through the game. But in the end, Ezra takes it down, and it's going to be 2 good friends going against each other in that top bracket. And Chris Dickerson and Ezra Aderhold is going to be another great matchup in the other.
Jerm, one question for you before we get to the OTB shot of the day. You've played this course before. You're very familiar with it. Is this the kind of course that allows players to get comfortable at all? And what I mean by that is think of a hot round on day 1. Does the hot round on day 2 tend to go lower and lower? Or is this a course where you can never really get comfortable? Every day is its own thing. Which way do you lean on that when it comes to Hornets Nest?
I believe that the course is tight enough that you could buy into that notion a little bit, that no 2 rounds are going to be the same. But these guys are so good that it's hard to really count them off from being able to execute the same shots they executed in day 1. But hole 1 is that's just such a difficult birdie to get. We saw Ezra get that hole. We saw Chris Dickerson get that hole. That's not something that you can count on. You can't count on drives like hole 11 from Gannon Buhr just getting to a jump putt on that 700-foot plus par 4. Those are shots that you can't really imagine seeing it replicated, but if it does, then we know how special it really is. I think we're going to see great disc golf tomorrow. I think that it'll be a lot of the same as far as a lot of birdies winning holes. But as far as the rounds being the way they were today, yeah, I think that it'll be a little different. There's just enough trees out here that it's going to throw off the game plan for no matter how good you are.
You never know what's going to happen. The OTB shot of the day, I don't know that we could fake any drama on this one.
Katrina Allen's throw-in.
Yeah, there you go, from this morning.
On the same hole.
There were outstanding shots today. Nicholas Antelas on the 18th, unfortunately, didn't pay off with him being able to push the round, but I don't think there's any doubt about it. It's Gannon Buhr's shot.
Hopefully.
We'll have to see. Is it 11? Is it 11?
You got,
okay.
That was cool.
Commentator confidence comes back to bite. That was cool.
That was objectively cool. I've seen that putt made before. I have made that putt on that hole in coverage before. I'm just saying that has been done before. What Gannon did has never been done before. That being said, Matty-O's putt was very cool.
Very
and he made it right in the heart of the chance. It was a perfect putt.
listen to us backpedal as fast as we can. Tomorrow, back right here on the Disc Golf Network, 8 a.m. Eastern for FPO action, 1 p.m. Eastern for MPO action. That is going to be day number 2 of this Match Play Championship presented by Pound Disc Golf. And we can't wait to see you there. For Brian Earhart on the ground, Jeremy Koling, and myself, Grant Zellner, thanks for tuning in this Friday. We'll see you back tomorrow for another great day in Charlotte.